What's going on, good people? What's going on, good people? You see the thumbnail. I'm going to give out grades for every free agent signing. Now, here's the thing. I'm only going to give out grades for the people that are brand new to the New York Giants. Anybody that we were able to retain, extend, re-sign, I'm not going to talk about, or that's not going to be the focus of this video. Everybody that we were able to sign away from a team, bring in that's brand new to the New York Giants. This is going to be that video. So I'm giving out grades, Joe Schoen type of grades for the signing and what I expect or some of the potential that they bring to the New York Giants. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get in. Actually, if this is your first time here, first time on the channel, first time seeing me, and you are a New York Giants fan, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. Do yourself a favor. Hit that like and subscribe. If this isn't your first time here and you're still not subscribed to the channel, shame on you. Shame on you. But guess what? You get to fix that. You get to fix that by hitting that like and subscribe button right now. I forgive you. We forgive you. We forgive you. Now let's get into this. So, first off, everybody, we already know what Brian Burns. Brian Burns, outside linebacker. We got him via trade from the Carolina Panthers. Gave him a boatload of money. Gave him a boatload of money for that signing. I'm just getting, excuse me. I'm just getting in right into the grades. I'm giving that an A, not an A plus, not an A minus. I'm giving it an A for, the trade for Brian Burns and also extending him for a 5-year deal. And the reason why I'm giving it an A is because this man has the potential. He's not there yet, but the potential to be a top 5 edge rusher in the league. Top 5 edge. He has the potential to do that. And I think that, the addition of Brian Burns and you have him opposite of Kayvon Thibodeau, these guys help each other. They help, and Dexter Lawrence helps them both. So a very solid signing. And also, just a quick little backstory. My youngest son, 10 years old, his favorite player on the Giants was Saquon Barkley. I told him about Brian Burns. I said, you know what? Brian Burns, they call him Spider-Man. And Spider-Man is his favorite character when it comes to Marvel. I showed him the clips of Brian Burns doing the spider webs and the Tobey Maguire dance and all that. And guess what? He now has a new favorite New York Giant, and that's Brian Burns. So shout out to Brian Burns for being the Spider-Man and giving my son something to cheer for already. Got some big shoes to live up to. So again, an A for Brian Burns. Next on the list is Jon Runyan. Jon Runyan, I'm giving that a B. You know why I'm giving it a B? Man, maybe a B minus. I'm giving it a B minus. Not one of the top names. Is a household name because of his pops, most likely. But this is Jon Runyan Jr. What I like about this signing so much is that you have a guy that has quality snaps. He's a veteran. He has some good play. Also has not missed a snap. 4 years in the league, has not missed a game due to injury, has not missed a game at all. And for me, as a New York Giants fan, you already know what pops in my head. Nobody stays healthy for the New York Giants. Nobody stays healthy for the New York Giants. This man has a clean streak. Actually, Eli Manning was healthy for a long. His streak, neither here or there. Jon Runyan, 4-year streak, no games missed. That's already kudos. Another thing is this: he has experience playing left guard and right guard. I believe he should stay at right guard because last year he played at right guard for the Green Bay Packers. Why switch the man? Don't do that. Keep him at right guard. Keep him where he's comfortable. Even though he said he prefers the left side, the majority of his snaps were on the right side, and more recently were on the right side. So I really don't want to move Jon Runyan. We'll see what happens. If anybody's going to move, it can be Evan Neal if he doesn't beat out. We'll get to that part too. All right, so for Jon Runyan, I'm giving it a B minus with the potential to go up. Next on the list is going to be Jaylen Mills. The New York Giants needed a safety. We got a safety. Familiar with the scheme. I'm assuming he's familiar with the scheme. Again, Bowen likes to run a lot of zone, so we'll see. A guy like Jaylen Mills also supports the run. We appreciate that. We like the physical safety. We were lacking a real physical type safety last year. We could say Dane Belton's a little bit physical, but not to the extent of Jaylen Mills. And again, he played for the Eagles. He played for the Patriots. He's a veteran. The Giants needed a safety. Now we got some safety depth. Do I think he's going to be a starter? There's a good chance that he could possibly be the starter. There's a good chance that he can be, he can be cut. But, when it's time to get cut down to the 53. It's up to Jaylen Mills. Now, he's going to be battling Dane Belton, possibly Javarius Owens. If we end up drafting the safety, he'll probably be battling with that person as well. So it's just up to him whether he sticks or not. I think he has the ability to stick with the New York Giants, but it's all about the roster and the depth chart. And for me, he's quality depth. He's a veteran guy with veteran presence in a young safety room or secondary room. That adds value, but the grade for him is going to be a C. I can't do anything more than that. I'm not sure if he's going to be a starter or not. But we'll see what happens with that. Next on the list is Jermaine Lumor. Might be the best signing outside of Brian Burns. Might be the most important signing for the New York Giants in regards to this offensive line. Jermaine Lumor. And one thing about Jermaine Lumor, as soon as he got signed, he was excited. The man was so happy to be a New York Giant. I had to look into the backstory because I didn't know his whole background. I found out that he went to high school, played football at Morris Knowles in New Jersey. Shout out to Jersey. He's originally from England, London, I believe. Nigerian and English is his nationality. Big football fan. He said that his first memory of football and why he is a New York Giants fan was the New York Giants game in London versus the Miami Dolphins. We remember the game. That's when Eli Manning took off and beat Jason Taylor, for the rushing touchdown. He was able to see that. That was his first, exposure to the NFL, and he became a New York Giants fan since then. Fast forward 20 years later, the man is finally playing for the New York Giants and very, very, very excited for it. And you know what? I'm excited that he's here because I think he's absolutely going to be the starter. I don't think there's a way that Evan Neal can actually beat him out. And if Evan Neal can't beat Jermaine Lumor and can't beat John Runion for the right guard spot, then you got Evan Neal going from right tackle all the way back to left guard. And he might be battling, somebody else that I'll mention later for that position. So that's not even a lock. And then the worst case scenario, Evan Neal becomes a swing tackle for the New York Giants. Can a young man survive that? I don't know. But my grade for the Jermaine Lumor signing is a B, a solid B. Good veteran, solid. He's familiar with Carmen Brasillo. Can't wait to see what happens when he suits up for the first time. Hopefully he brings that veteran presence. Hopefully Evan Neal can learn from him. Swallow your pride and learn from him. And hopefully, we can get the best out of Jermaine Lumor 2-year deal. Next on the list is Devin Singletary. Now, here's the thing. He is not here to replace Saquon Barkley. When we lost Saquon Barkley and we signed Devin Singletary, people were like, no, that ain't it. That's not going to cut it. We did not bring Devin Singletary here to replace Saquon Barkley. But I will say this. When you look at his numbers last year, and Saquon Barkley's numbers last year is pretty comparable. Now, if he can do the same thing that he did last year for the New York Giants this year, two things. First of all, that means the offensive line is blocking a lot better. But also, he doesn't have to be the main person. I believe in running back by committee. And I think with a guy like Devin Singletary versus having a guy like Saquon Barkley who's getting that ball almost every down, Devin Singletary allows you to do a little bit more. And you can add a little bit more snaps to the backup running backs. So I do like this signing. Again, you're not getting Saquon Barkley, but you are getting a quality running back in return. And it's simply about this. It's not about the running back. It's about the running game. So for the Devin Singletary pickup, I'm giving that a B-. Giving it a B-. Not a household name, but, New York should, come to love this guy when we get into the season. So next on the list is Drew Lock. Probably one of the most shocking signings, outside of Brian Burns, shocking signing for the New York Giants. We lost Tyrod Taylor, of course. Didn't know what we were going to do. Then bang, we get Drew Lock. And then, of course, once you get Drew Lock, the rumors start to go around like, You know, what's going on with Daniel Jones? And at the time, you can have two ways of thinking about it. We're trying to replace Daniel Jones, or Daniel Jones is not healthy enough, or we don't think he might be healthy enough. We need to get a quality quarterback to back up Daniel Jones, or in case he's not ready. Now, here's the thing. When you sign Drew Lock, it's not like you're signing a guy that's going to stop you from drafting a quarterback, you know, in this year's draft. You know, it's not that. But what you do have with Drew Lock is a guy that has a lot of starts. I believe he started 26 games for the Denver Broncos. Not sure what the number was as far as starts go with Seattle, but he did step in for Geno Smith a few times. And the man can play. He can play. He's not great. He's not horrible. He's somewhere in the middle of that. He does have a strong arm. He has a little bit of swag to him. He has enough arm to get Hyatt the ball, because Hyatt is open. But yeah, I like the signing of Drew Lock. It's solid. A young guy. You can still develop him. He still has enough youth in him that, you know, Dable, Kafka, Shea Tierney, they can probably make him better than what he was before. And I believe that's a solid signing for the New York Giants, because just in case, you know, we strike out, we don't get a quarterback in the draft, and just in case, you know, Daniel Jones is not ready, you're marching out Drew Lock. Is it the best situation? Absolutely not. But it's not the worst situation either. And, you know, I think it's a solid signing. Next on the list is Isaiah McKenzie. Slot type wide receiver, give you some special teams help. Now, here's the thing when it comes to Isaiah McKenzie. You have Gunnar Olszewski, and now you have Isaiah McKenzie. Both of these guys can help you in the return game. I think Isaiah McKenzie gives you a little bit more as far as contributing on offense than Gunnar Olszewski can. But injuries, things like that, I think this is probably going to be one of the most intriguing battles going into camp. I think the winner of that competition between Gunnar Olszewski and Isaiah McKenzie gets like the 6th or 7th wide receiver spot, because there's only enough room for one of those guys. And like I said, for potential and somebody with a lot more wiggle and can give you a lot more on offense, but can still affect the return game, I'm leaning towards Isaiah McKenzie. But this is not a 53 prediction type show. This is just talking about Isaiah McKenzie. So for that signing, I'm going to give him what I have written down. I have a C+. A C+ for Isaiah McKenzie. Also, he is familiar with Dable. He is familiar with the Bills and Joe Shane. He has that familiarity. So I think that helps him out as well. So next on the list is Jack Stoll. Jack Stoll, tight end from the Philadelphia Eagles. UDFA, you know, out of Nebraska. Actually surprised me with the number of starts that he had. He had 26 starts for the Philadelphia Eagles. That's pretty good. I remember Goddard going down for a while, but to see this guy having 26 starts and then they just let him go. So, you know, that's the red flag there. I don't know if he has some type of injury history, but if he's starting 26 games, and I believe he's only been in the league for 2 years, you know, that's pretty good. Traditional type tight end, you know, can run a little, can block a little bit, can catch a little bit. Can he develop and get better? The New York Giants were decimated at tight end last year at certain parts. We had Daniel Bellinger being a fullback, H-back, you know, extra lineman, chipping, helping out on the edges and stuff like that. I think we did Daniel Bellinger a disservice last year. With how we played him. Again, I understand that Darren Waller, big sign, I was excited about it, but we didn't utilize him correctly either. And it became a big mess at tight end for the New York Giants. But a guy like Jack Stoll is a quality depth, filling out the 90-man roster, but has a chance to make this team depending on what happens with Waller. The next guy, well, I'm going to give that a C- because, again, we don't know what the full potential is of Jack Stoll. I didn't want to give him a D, pulse, because I would think that would be unfair right now, but it's not like it's moving the needle much. I give him a C-. Next on the list is another tight end, Chris Manhertz from the Denver Broncos. Older guy, 6'6", 230-something pounds. I think he's a little bit heavier than that now. You know how they do with the combine. They keep those weights the whole time, you know, for the players in their career. Chris Manhertz, another traditional type tight end, or more traditional type tight end, can help you out blocking, can help you out in the passing game. But also, when I think about Chris Manhertz, he is very close to being tight end number 2. If we don't, like, if Darren Waller decides to call and say, you know what, I'm going to hang it up, Manhertz is tight end number 2, in my opinion, especially if we don't draft a tight end in day 3 or something like that. Manhertz becomes tight end 2. So with that being said, a solid guy, still got some gas in the tank. While you know, a veteran, knows the game, been around for a while, has the snaps, has, you know, that's a solid signing for the New York Giants. Solid signing. I'm gonna give that. What did I give that one for Manhertz? I gave it a B. You know what? I'll say a B minus just because of the age, and he's not part of the long-term plans. But who knows? He could be tight end too, and that's what made this signing to me. Prior to games being played, you're getting a possible, you know, guy that's going to be heavy in rotation. I give that a B as well. So next on the list is Aaron Stinnie. This time, another lineman, another offensive lineman. This time, a guy that plays left guard, you know, played all around the line, but played left guard more recently. Was a part of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers when they won the Super Bowl. He didn't start that year, but he did start during that playoff run, that 3-game playoff run. And again, he's a Super Bowl champion. You know, he started for a Super Bowl team. He's a left guard. Now, here's the thing with that now. There is a chance that Stinnie could be the starting left guard, depending on what we do in the draft, and also depending on Evan Neal. If Evan Neal does not beat out Lumor at right tackle, doesn't beat out John Runion at right guard, which I don't think that's going to happen anyway. I think Runion starts no matter what, whether it be the left or the right side. I'd rather have him on the right. Then Evan Neal goes to the left side at left guard. We put him next to Andrew Thomas, and hopefully, you know, he can earn his money there. But there's a chance that Aaron Stinnie could be a starter for the New York Giants. And we'll see what happens when we get into training camp, get into preseason, and how they want to line this thing up. And hopefully, they figure this thing out more sooner than later. I hate to see the musical chairs going into like week 2 or week 3 of the preseason. Hopefully, they have it solidified before then. After that, Austin Schlottman. Austin Schlottman, we needed some O-line depth. We needed some center depth, and he's quality depth. That's what he is. A guy that has some starts under his belt. He's been in the league for a long time. I believe he's 28 or 29 possibly. I don't think he's 30 yet. I don't have that written down in my notes. But a solid backup center. You know, we needed a solid backup center behind JMS last year. We tried with a couple different people. They ended up getting hurt and put on IR. We had Ben Bredesen as a backup center. We thought Shane Lemieux could possibly be a backup center. No, now we have a real center, backup center, that can play in a pinch in case, like it's what happened with JMS last year. He got hurt, missed a couple games, had to do all this shuffling. No, if you have a solid backup center, you don't have to worry about moving all these other people around. You have a solid backup center that can help come in. And also, JMS being not so young but so fresh in the league, a guy like Austin Schlottman can help him, you know, whether it's technique or just learning the game, giving those little tips and tricks and stuff like that a veteran can give. It's a good learning experience for JMS. And then the last name on the list is Matt Nelson, offensive tackle. Again, we see the theme. We know what Joe Schoen was trying to do. He was trying to get this offensive line right. And he brought in a lot of veterans. He brought in the guys that had some qualities, the guys that started before. The last 2 years, we depended on a lot of young guys, outside of guys like Justin Pugh, but we relied on a lot of young guys that didn't have all the experience in the world and didn't have, you know, enough starts, first off. Even this guy, Matt Nelson, who I really don't know anything about, had starts. 14 starts in his career. 14 starts. How many starts did Evan Neal have? Exactly. So we got a guy that has 14 starts. I really can't say much about this. I really can't say nothing more about this, but I think it's quality depth. I think you're doing your due diligence, getting enough guys in here so they can compete, and then you get your best 5 out there to start, and hopefully your best 5 to back up. You know what I mean? I think we keep 10 linemen. It only makes sense. And I give that signing a C minus. Again, we don't know if he's going to last or not. I don't know. I don't remember giving a grade for Schlottman either. So for Schlottman, I got a C minus for Schlottman. And if I didn't say Aaron Stinnie, I gave a solid C for Aaron Stinnie. almost a C plus, because who knows, he couldn't be a starter. So that's the video. That's the grades that I'm giving out for the new free agent signings from, you know, newcomers to the New York Giants. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys think about these grades. If you agree or disagree, please let me know. I'm curious to hear what you guys have to say. But again, I want to thank everybody for vibing with me. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And from one Giants fan to another, this is Big Dash Knows, Big Blue Nation. Let's go.